أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن يوم الفصل كان ميقاتا يوم ينفخ في الصور فتأتون أفواجا وفتحت السماء فكانت أبوابا وسيرت الجبال فكانت سرابا إن جهنم كانت مرصادا للطاغين مآبا لابثين فيها أحقابا لا يذوقون فيها بردا ولا شرابا إلا حميما وغساقا جزاء وفاقا إنهم كانوا لا يرجون حسابا وكذبوا بآياتنا كذابا وكل شيء أحصيناه كتابا فذوقوا فلن نزيدكم إلا عذابا صدق الله العظيم اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. My dear respected brothers, elders, listeners, the verses of the Holy Quran that I've recited are from para number 30, the first surah of this para, which is called Surah Nabi. In the previous dars, we started part of this surah where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Almighty, has introduced Himself and reminding the son of Adam how he has created the world, how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had made the earth a place of rest for us, and how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala strengthened the mountains that are placed on the earth to keep it strong, and how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created everything in pairs: the night, the day, the sun, the moon, the male, the female, in animals, in humans. Everything that we see is in pairs. And how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala imposed sleep on us is something which is imposed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We have no choice. And how Allah made the night, it's like a cover, the darkness, the peace, so we can sleep, and the day so we can see and we can do the work that we need to do. And how Allah sent the rains from the clouds. From some verses it refers to from the skies, but it refers to from the clouds. The rain that comes down, and how the earth becomes alive. This dead earth now becomes alive, and the crops and all the fruits that grow. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala introduced Himself in the first part of this surah, letting us know that we need to recognize our Creator. And Allah has created all this for the human, for the insan. Everything is made for the service of the insan, the creation. Many of the animals and all the creation that we see around us. Now all this creation which is powerful will come to an end one day. The summary of this surah and the verse of this surah, which is the summary, is the first verse that I recited. Inna yawmal fasli kana miqata. So Allah has introduced Himself so that we recognize Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the example I had given in the previous dars was like a farmer. When he plants the seeds, now what happens? We know that there will be a result from these seeds. Likewise, the day of resurrection will happen. And then when the farmer plants the seed, then the plants and the crops grow. And then they are separated and they are taken off. The good ones from the bad ones. Likewise, there are people in this dunya that are good and bad that live together for now. But on that day, they will be separated from each other. So this surah, this verse, Inna yawmal fasli kana miqata, is the highlight where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioning. Indeed, the day of decision has an appointed time. Miqat in Arabic, an appointment. A fixed time. So the day of resurrection, which is referred to Yawm al-Fasl, the day of decision, is an appointed time which is fixed, which is known only to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When this day will come, only Allah knows, but it's an appointed and fixed time. And what will happen? In these verses I have recited, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala step by step is telling us what will happen. First, that this is an appointed day, and indeed it will come. Just like when the farmer plants this seed, the crops grow. And just like we speak, and this is a reality, what we believe, the day of resurrection will come. What will happen? يَوْمَ يُنْفَخُ فِي الصُّورِ فَتَأْتُونَ أَفْوَاجًا. On that day, the trumpet will be blown. And you will see people coming in multitudes. Afwaja. The Jama plural of Fawj. That's why Fawj is also called an army, because they come in multitudes. Now, on the day of resurrection, for it to begin, Allah is telling us that the trumpet will be blown. From the narrations, the prophetic narrations, we learn that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has mentioned that this trumpet will be blown on two occasions. The first occasion will be when every living thing will be destroyed. Everything that we see around us, it will be destroyed and it will be finished. Then there will be some gap between that has come 40 years, Allah knows best. Then what will happen? The trumpet will be blown again by the angel Israfil alayhi salam. He will blow the trumpet again and every living thing will come back to life. And now they will all go in multitudes, rushing to the ground where we have to give an account of our life. In the narrations under this verse, the Mufassirin write, some people will be walking barefoot. Some people will be on camels. Depending on one's circumstance, their deeds. In the dunya, like we have rich people and the poor people. They have different sort of lifestyle, different sort of transport, different kind of living conditions. Different sort of travel. They travel in one plane, but they're still in different carriages. Different classes, as you would say. on the day of resurrection, when this day will come, a person's a'mal, depending on that, he will be honored. And those that have got bad, have not done good a'mals, then because of their deeds, they will be barefoot. وَفُتِحَتِ السَّمَاءُ فَكَانَتْ أَبْوَابًا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions that indeed the heavens will be open. The doors of the heavens will be open. وَسُيِّرَتِ الْجِبَالُ فَكَانَتْ سَرَابًا. And what will happen to the mountains? They will be going around in motions. Now we see a mountain is a very strong creation that Allah has created. And is to keep the earth firm. When we give examples of mountains. If someone is steadfast, they have istiqamah, we'll say he's like a mountain. If someone is strong and solid, then we give an example, he's like a rock, he's like a mountain. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioning on that day, these mountain, the creation which is solid, does not move from his place. On the day of resurrection, it will be crushed in pieces and flying around in motions like cotton wool. This is what will happen to the mountains. Inna jahannam kanat mirsada. Then Allah mentions about Jahannam, that the hellfire is in ambush. Mirsad means someone that is waiting to attack. Those that deserve this punishment, the angels are waiting to attack and put this person into the hellfire. What one deserves, depending on their a'mal. And the angels will be welcoming those that are deserving to go into Jannah. And these angels in mirsad, watching, waiting to put these people into what they deserve, into the hellfire. May Allah save us all and protect us. Sometimes we don't hear about this reality. We're so busy in our dunya and worldly life, daily routine, that we don't ponder upon what Allah has mentioned in the Quran. And we think we'll see what happens and continue living our busy life. We need to hear about Jannah and Jahannam. لِلطَّاغِينَ مَآبًا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions, for the rebellious, the taghi, taghin, the rebellious people, those that have crossed the limits, they rebelled against the commands of Allah. They rebelled against the teachings of the Quran and the teachings of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Their abode will be in this hellfire. So Allah has mentioned where they will be. Allah has mentioned where the abode will be. Now the next question, how long will they remain in the hellfire? لَابِثِينَ فِيهَا أَحْقَابًا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions that they will remain in here for long time. Ahqab is a plural word. Now we find in the books of Tafseer and the Mufassirin explaining different ways of what Ahqab means. Some say one Huqab is 80 years. That is referred to as Ali radiallahu anhu. Some say it refers to 70 years. Some say it's more than this. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best. But what we know from the Quran, from other verses, if a person disbelieves in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and dies in this state, they will remain in the fire of hell forever and ever. And those believers that have committed sin in this dunya and they did not make tawbah, they will have to go into the fire of hell. And they will have to stay there for quite some time. And then, because of having iman, they will be taken out. In the books of Tafseer is written, if the people of hellfire, they were told that that the amount of pebbles you can fit in this world, after the amount of pebbles you can fit in this whole world, this is the duration you will have to stay in hellfire. They would become happy, meaning that it could be one day that it'll come to an end after billion, zillion years. But they will come to know that there's no end. And the people of Jannah, if they were to be told this, they'd become sad. Yeah, how many billion, zillion years for the pebbles to finish it would take, but because there would be an end. But there's no end. Then Allah speaks about the food and drink. لا يذوقون فيها بردا ولا شرابا. In this heat of Jahannam, they will have no fan, no cooling system. They will have no drink except إلا حميما وغساقا, but boiling hot water. Hamim, boiling hot water that will burn everything inside, and pus. This is what they will have to drink. And it will burn everything inside. And because the body will remain forever and ever, now it's not that the skin is burnt and it's finished. Allah says in the Quran, كُلَّمَا نَضِجَتْ جُلُودُهُمْ بَدَّلْنَاهُمْ جُلُودًا غَيْرَهَا لِيَذُوقُوا الْعَذَابِ. Every time the skin will burn, it will be replaced again with new skin. جَزَاءً وِفَاقًا. And this is to recompense what they had done in this dunya. Allah does not punish a person for no reason. Allah is loving, Allah is kind. But Allah set principles that we have to follow. It's for their deeds that they had done. Allah has given us choice. And He has only not given us choice, but He's also put this in us. Indicators that indicate what action I'm doing is right and wrong. فَأَلْهَمَهَا فُجُورَهَا وَتَقْوَاهَا. If a person lies in himself, he realizes that I've done something wrong. Sometimes you have these lie detectors. How can they tell a person's lying? They put some machinery on because there's something going wrong inside that is indicating something different. A person that is telling the truth will be still. So a person in themselves know what they are doing is wrong. Allah has put that in a person to detect what is right and wrong. But we still choose our lifestyle. We choose to disobey Allah or obey Allah. And because of this, depending on our amal, this is what will happen. إِنَّهُمْ كَانُوا لَا يَرْجُونَ حِسَابًا. They had no hope of accounting. They had no hope, no belief that one day we'll have to give an account to Allah of our life, of our youth, of our knowledge, of our earnings. They had no hope that they will have to give any account. When the prophets came to remind them to believe in Allah, the day of judgment will come. And it's a reality that cannot be denied, but they had no hope that there will be any account. وَكَذَّبُوا بِآيَاتِنَا كِذَّابًا. They denied and rejected. وَكُلَّ شَيْءٍ أَحْصَيْنَاهُ كِتَابًا. Allah says, everything we have counted and recorded is written in a book. You cannot escape from this. Angels are writing. Everything's written, because a person will deny, I did not do this. Everything is written. فَذُوقُوا. And it'll be said to them, taste this punishment, and we will not increase but adhab and punishment for you. All these verses are explaining or picture and image what will happen on the day of resurrection to the people of hellfire. And then if we look in the next dars, inshaAllah, we'll go through the muttaqeens and what Allah has promised for them. So in the Quran we find Allah speaks about both the people of hellfire, the people of Jannah, the bad people, the good people, and it comes together at the same. So people of Jahannam dimension is come, now the people of Jannah dimension will come. And what bounties Allah will give them. So we still have a choice when we hear this, that we need to reform ourselves and to stop disobeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Fulfill the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Understand our responsibilities in life. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the ability to understand and to spread unto others. Ameen. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun wa salamun ala al-mursaleen. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.